Okay, I just did election stuff because doesn't mean that'd be the main subject matter. Just I still don't feel anything coming from it. I really feel like it doesn't matter. I guess that means my Twitter following will go down to zero. One thing I do comes to mind. Uh, Obviously, people think the government's attacking them. So maybe there's some truth to that to some level, but majority I don't think it cares. But obviously, there are entities. Yeah, that's very true. Not to be a victim of it, but there is. Yeah, a lot of that. And there's some high-end entities here, elite. Without going into names of them, or not bring it up. I guess I could. Yeah, the Rockefeller Energy and yeah, the 13 families. So just use that. They just do it that way. There is some truth to that. Even like the Rothschild Energy. Um, Not to even focus on them individually, it's the physical versions, but yeah, there's definitely these entities that attack people. Yeah, they can. Yeah, it's high level stuff. That's well, they try to get you pulled into their timeline, and so they can control you, take your power, and so on. But you have to give your power away. They want you to take your life basically, so they can take your soul essence. That's kind of it's kind of messed up. Yeah, some people do have those guys around every now and then, and they just want to take your power. It's kind of like it's kind of like having a stalker or a pedophile frequency around you. Unfortunately, yeah, it's pretty messed up. So there's that. Without going too, kind of keep it kind of general with that. But yeah, they do mean business, that's for sure. And they try to push people over the edge so they can grab onto them when they finally give up. That's why you gotta keep going, even if you feel the reality is bland and uninteresting. Yeah, and those that see it the other way, yeah, it's something else here. Yeah, it's pretty gross. It's the bottom of the barrel. That's the planet. Well, they gotta be somewhere, right? Speaking of bottom of the barrel, there's the election energy. That's not think it matters. I mean, it's like high school. Like the kids think they got their person in, and then next thing you know, we all get screwed. So it really doesn't matter. Yeah, the savior mentality. Oh man, it's like fever pitch right now. Wow. Yes, that means my Twitter following is going down to zero. Definitely. Can you go less than that? Imagine, I'm surprised they don't put that on there. You have minus 2,000 followers. How does that work exactly? That was the case, YouTube would have done that a long time ago. So, yeah, the election, I'm not feeling anything from it. It doesn't matter. I feel like Trump's not even there. Whatever that is that doesn't matter. Something, yeah, I mean, from a outsider's perspective, you can see the savior mentality is just out of control right now. It's going to get worse and worse, too. So, yeah, it feels very Roman, actually. Roman emperor energy. So, yeah, definitely Roman times. We have not. That also comes to from the Egyptian energies of the pharaoh. So we're still under that blanket. At least not all pharaohs were psychotic and all that. I don't think they. Maybe not in history or something like that. It's got taken over, but it wasn't always that way. I believe there was a pharaoh, maybe not even in histories. In that timeline, it's hard to say. I'm not going to. I'm staying out of that energy. But I think like it's not in written history. Even the Babylonian frequencies, because Babylon went into Egyptian. Babylon is actually worse. At least as for corruption. it doesn't exist. It's like, damn. At least you have Egypt. Fucking Babylon's gone. Like, freaking gone. So, I mean, obviously it's here energetically, or, yeah, pieces of it, yeah, definitely. New York City and so on, yeah, even parts of London. The architecture of how the control system. Oh yeah, Priscilla's here if you're wondering. You take down the background. I was just sitting here. I had to give her some treats because she was just nuts. She's just a drug addict basically. Yeah, I have a cat that's a drug addict. Prissy too, but Priscilla's worse. Well, the treats are good for their teeth. That's why I have them. Because her teeth aren't so good. It's been helping a lot with her teeth. Yeah, her teeth were pretty bad, but been giving her treats. It actually helps with all the plaque. So her teeth are actually doing. I think still had to get dental work on her. I have to do it every year. It's freaking ridiculous. But it's not as bad as it was before. So it's just a genetic thing. So, yeah, it's not cheap either. Far from it. Especially the economy keeps sliding into nowhereville. But yeah, that's kind of, so on election energy, I'm looking at it just from a different perspective. So yeah, of course, yeah, the corrupt Pharaoh energy is there for sure, but definitely the Roman vibes are freaking, they're like crazy. Which I don't normally connect to stuff like that. I don't normally see it, but it is just, talk about the mind control that's built around it. It's just, and our people here are obviously very sophisticated. Yeah. That would never happen here. Yeah. Yeah. And then they cancel you. Sounds very mature. Yeah. What has not grown up yet? I'm not sure if it has the capabilities. Well, at least the U.S. has not. I guess you can go parts of Europe where you just away from social media altogether. We can do it in the U.S., but Europe seems to have. Of course, Europe's been through everything. The U.S. is still the remnants of it all. So I guess we're not done with it all yet. So, of course, the U.S. connected to the Native American energy, which the Native Americans they blended into the U.S. So not easily. It's kind of ugly, obviously, but it did kind of morph into each other, if you like it or not. So, yeah. So it's together at last, for better or for worse. Well, if you look at the recent generations of it, well, maybe they don't need to do the Indian, Native American practices, because you're taking that energy, actually upgrading it. We'll look at it from that perspective. So yeah, they might not do their traditions as much anymore, but traditions have to change anyway, right? You gotta evolve from it, and that's what's happening now. As there actually are probably more Americans here, but they're mixed within the American culture, or the whatever you call it, the Puritan energy. So it is. I would think it's more of like an upgrade. Might not be a friendly upgrade or a joyful one, but it is. Not to say it's ever been easy with the Native Americans, because even their life is just kind of rough also. So and then now we have the immigrants, and that's coming into the American perspective once again, blending into the mix. So that's happening in Europe also. So yeah, we're just a bunch of mutts. So anyway, we're just So it's just U.S. will survive somehow. Who the hell knows actually at this point? This is Avatar.com. We have private sessions. scheduler. We have a shop here. And Priscilla, that's here. I'm not gonna grab her. She's put her in the camera and she's doing her own thing. But she's man, yeah, she's behind the scenes. Fritzy is sleeping like she's not needed apparently, so she's sleeping like Cleopatra. So Planet High School energies, and then of course there's some of that. Well, you see the cancellations. We're going to cancel if there's very high school. Even with the election energies, like our man's getting in. It's like that's very high school. Like, of course, some of it's kindergarten also, but I would try to look at it from a more high school perspective because actually it does look very childish. It's still in the first grade. There's a lot of that here. Yeah, of course you insult a lot of people when you say that. So we'll just say it's high school, even when it really isn't. Be surprised. So yeah, if you're a high school senior or beyond that, obviously you're not going to fit into this place. That's for damn sure. You can forget that one. Yeah, unless you're here to destroy yourself. If you're not into that, well, it's very lonely at the top. Not for an ego perspective, it's just, And then you think you know everything about the aliens and all that. Oh, God, it's like, is that, whatever. Do what you gotta do there. Yeah, whatever. I guess some just know everything about the Bible, some know everything about religion, some know everything about the aliens, and whatever, it doesn't matter. I guess you can say, the alien, or, you have your alien, what do you call them? Not philosophers, there's another one, scholars, I guess you could say. Some kind of overdo it. I feel like they're this deity. Kind of goes to some of their heads, but whatever. Not to name names there. So Planet High School frequency, it's so going to the alien perspective, well, I don't know, like the election is kind of a strange vibe. Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's anything there. Obviously people think there is, but there's definitely a turning point there for sure. It's heavily guarded for obvious reasons. I don't know. Is it gonna be a Trump land? I have no idea. I'm not going there. Is it gonna be a landslide, or I'm not going there? I just stay out of it because it's just kind of like wait and see. Yeah, just let the kids tear each other apart or do what they gotta do. Yeah, let them have their fun with it. I feel like either candidate could bring in an alien presence here. I mean, of course they're here, but more of a physical connection at some point. Of course we're not there yet. Well, you never know. It's not gonna be World War III. Obviously you're gonna have pieces of that because timelines need to fizzle out. It's gonna have pieces of that, just the way it is. It's just the era we're in. Haven't heard much flat Earth stuff recently. That's a shame. I wonder if there's gotta be something out there where people feel like they fell off the edge of the Earth. Wish I had a dream. I imagine that's gotta be out there. If you have Bigfoot connections, there's gotta be some people that feel like, or maybe had an astral dream about falling off the edge of the Earth. 'Cause that does exist. You never hear about the Bermuda Triangle either, and that still happens too. I'm not sure what's happening with that. That's kind of odd. It's just not. I don't know. I guess just stay out of it. Either way, all right. We're going to Syrians, which I don't. Yeah, obviously leave it open. The Syrian Collective, which is I don't normally do that. Just always leave it open anyway. So Syrian frequencies. It's connected to Israel and Orion, and some ways they've had run-ins with it all. Let's put it that way. Of course, the Middle East. yeah, connect to the Syrian frequencies and go from there. Syrian collective, and yeah, we'll just go from there. So, all right, blessings here. Greece, you with a Syrian collective, your distant family. As for your disclosure, well, yes, every day is the disclosure frequency that will always continue. As your think of it as an upgrade, as many of you know, and there's different perspectives of the upgrade. Everybody has their own process. Those of you that are kind of tearing out of this world or feel like this world is insignificant, but you're also, you're not letting all of its current timeline bother you. You just evolved out of it. So basically, it's like evolving into more of an alien perspective or a timeline where more of the mature frequencies come into the earth. Now, you still got immaturity here. You can't just force someone to evolve. They have to go through all the processes. That's what makes this world very unique. Yes, you can go to your lowest and then stay there as long as you want. There's no incentive to move forward, as some of you have noticed. Yes, it's like, yes, you jump into the sandbox and just play around forever until you get tired of it. So there's really no wrong with that. It's all in what you want to do with your reality. But one thing about being here, as you've noticed, when the collective, certain groups want to, grow up, others follow. It always happens that way. But there's always going to be others that just stragglers or those that just got here and want to start fresh. But eventually the world will not, have those experiences of what you're going through now. Kind of, yes, the self-destructive frequency. You're not quite there yet, but some need to have that experience. However you want to look at that. Some just are addicted to no self-love whatsoever. It doesn't mean this will have full self-love anytime soon, no. But also there's many of you that are rejecting this reality. Yeah, you upgrade from it. Yes, but then yes, the kids, yes, they're going to yell at you and scream at you and all that because you're not on their team. So you're going to always have that. Hey, what about us? Don't you want to be part of our group? We know what's going on. We have all of the answers and so on. Some take it a little bit better, but others are kind of vicious about it. Well, it's all a learning game, as you can see. But you can say, yes, unscrewing the top of this reality to bring in new ones, and that is not just an alien perspective, but all of the what you have here, basically. But you'll still be a physical being. We become more aware of the worlds around you at some point. But for some of you are feeling this new age coming in, not to talk about the new age, but this new timeline that is emerging from more of a galactic perspective. And yes, as for alien groups connecting to you physically, there are some that are always here, yes, without going into all their names. Some of them are Greys, some of them are Palladian. There are other entities here that mingle among you all. Well, that, see, like your alien timeline's coming in more clearly, and you see a crowd of people, but then you see some of them kind of morph or transform into their alien form. Let's put it that way. Let's use a kind of your Hollywood-esque type of terms. But you're not quite there yet. And of course, some of you already see it to some level, but not to where everybody sees it. Not yet. Well, there's a lot of beings that can transform their frequency to anything they like. And it's not easy to keep those human forms, but they can do it. So yes, those of you that are alien that are here, it's like, what am I doing here? I'm like the opposite of this planet. This planet just, it's brutal because you just, and yeah, you don't want to give in to its frequent, because you're not part of this world. So yes, you're going to be pushing back a lot of its intentions, and of course, it's going to fight back too. Well, it's going to fight that you're here because it wants to pull you into its agendas. It's kind of the succubus frequency side of the planet. So it just ends. Well, so many are part of it. It's yeah, it's like a creature basically. But you're here to reset timelines for more of a galactic, and it's activating the human. So many of you are as human to activate yourself, which activates other humans because when one does it, it does encourage others to evolve too. Nothing wrong with that. But you still have your individual self. You're not, following the collective. You just feel more, you're not alone in this. You start activating yourself. So don't do it. just stay human. But as more of you start to light up like a light bright, or a light bright, yeah, something like that. You just light up energetically. Others feel more comfortable with it, and then you just start bringing in a new realm altogether. As for eventually some kind of alien contact, but even there, we can't go into details because we don't really know how that will all come into your reality. It can easily at any time. Because once again, it's always here, but on a physical level, where you just know you're not alone anymore. I mean, truly, no, like the whole world finally. It will be a friendly exchange for sure, but it will not be we're going to hand out T-shirts and all that and save you. They can't do that because they lose their power, and it's a kind of like against galactic rule to do something like that. But as your collective, so I think we're just telling you stuff you already know, but we'll just do it anyway. For some of you already know that basically, as some of you are getting to that level of this new reality coming, an alien reality, your maturity level is not easy, obviously. It's painful, very painful, as some of you know, but it's to bring in this other perspective. And your role here will be determined as for what you do here with it. So some of you might feel more at home once your family, alien families are here. Let's put it that way. At least they're out there, but at least you're turning the page for the Earth to become less of a chaos. Well, it's just, yes, less chaotic. It's still going to have chaos. It's not done with that. It's hard to let that go. There's too many that are holding. They need it for their growth, and you're helping them through it, but by not being triggered by it and not feeding it. Of course, you're also giving them perspective for them to just let things go. And your 2020 it shows you, yes, you're in a time of great change. I mean, many probably felt that's never going to happen, and sure enough, it happened, and it can go into a more galactic perspective. So, we're giving you hints. So, we're just going to say we're giving you hints. If 2020 can happen, anything can happen. Doesn't mean World War III. No. Obviously, that could happen, but no. You would already be experiencing it. The world would be boiled. We're not going there, but I think you have some. Yeah, it's not pretty. You don't want that. Talking about it's one thing, because they bring that into this reality. That's one thing, but actually experiencing it, not pleasant. Well, to give you some perspective of that, we brought it up. Yeah, it's when we say boiling, we mean it. Yeah, you ever been somewhere very hot and it can get worse? It's not pleasant at all. It's like living in an oven. That's not the way you want to Yeah, you don't need that. A lot of the Zetas experience that. Sometimes it happens instantly, but still, you never really heal from that. Well, not easily. But if 2020 can occur where the world shuts down, as it did, the alien timelines can easily come in. That was an alien involvement, and more is on the way. So, just let you tap into that, and of course, everyone has their own perspectives. Not that it's gloom and doom. Some might feel that way because they're connected to other timelines, but they've been part of disclosure timelines where it just went against them. I would say to heal that, it's not easy because you've seen it fail. Doesn't mean this is going to fail. This is not an easy mission at all, but it is, like I say, we're just going to say that again. Yeah, the 2020 frequency, the groundwork to what's to come. Doesn't mean the world's going to be shut down, but similar to the world, as the world stood still, there's going to be parts of it that can easily, we'll just say, yeah, it can be shut down, but not in a negative perspective, just to give you perspective, actually. So, blessings.